Bonjour, dear viewers, and welcome to a new edition from our program Africa Today. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi congratulated the Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni on his re-election for a new presidential term. President Sisi said the result reflects the confidence of the Ugandan people in Museveni's wise leadership and wished him continued success as well as lasting progress and prosperity for Uganda. He also reaffirmed Egypt's keenness to further strengthen cooperation with Uganda in a way that serves the interests of both peoples and contributes to stability and development across Africa. And still with the same issue, where supporters of Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni celebrated in Kampala after he was declared winner of the 7th term in office. Museveni received more than 71.6% of the vote. According to the official results, his closest challenger, Bobi Wine, took 24.7%. More details in the following story.
Uganda's long-serving President Yoweri Museveni has been declared the winner of the country's latest presidential election, extending his rule that began in 1986. According to the Electoral Commission, Museveni secured a clear majority of the vote, defeating his main challenger, opposition leader and pop star turned politician Robert Kyagulanyi, widely known as Bobi Wine. The opposition has rejected the results, describing the vote as neither free nor fair. Bobi Wine accused authorities of widespread irregularities, intimidation of voters and interference with the electoral process. The government has strongly denied these allegations. The election period was marked by heavy security deployment across major cities, particularly in the capital, Kampala. Internet and social media services were restricted during voting and counting, a move authorities said was necessary to maintain security, but critics argue it is limited transparency and communication. Local and international observers raised concerns about the political environment, pointing to restrictions on opposition activists. President Museveni, now in his late 70s, has defended his victory, saying it reflects public support for stability, economic development and security. Uganda has never seen a peaceful transfer of presidential power since independence. As the country moves into another 5-year term under Museveni's leadership, attention is turning to possible legal challenges from the opposition and the broader impact on Uganda's democratic future.
At least 8 people have died in Mozambique since the 21st of December due to the heavy rainfall, according to the National Institute for Disaster Management. More details.
At least 8 people have died in Mozambique since the 21st of December due to the heavy rainfall, according to the National Institute of Disaster Management. The southern African country has endured weeks of heavy rain, with residents of low-lying areas near the capital, Maputo, urged to move to higher ground. More than 230,000 people have been affected by the flooding. The United Nations Migration Agency says that they are rescuing people and distributing food aid. Mozambican president said that the situation is still being assessed. In the Bon district, 30 kilometers west of Maputo, resident Lucas Carlos told the press that he walked to work despite the very high water level after waiting more than 3 hours for a special truck service. The service is due to be suspended. Some women decided to cross using makeshift boats, a 10-minute journey costing nearly €3, a large sum for vegetable sellers from Matula. Local authorities have struggled to meet growing needs for transport and evacuations. Many households remain isolated in high-risk areas with no safe way to leave. Bon district is already cut off by road, and water levels continue to rise at the nearby Limbus Dam. District administrator acknowledged the severity of the crisis. The situation is very difficult and land communications have been cut. Authorities say schools have been identified to shelter displaced families and are urging residents to leave food-prone zones.
Across Africa, several countries are recording signs of economic recovery, regional cooperation and growing investment, pointing to the renewed optimism for the continent's bright future.
Across Africa, several countries are recording signs of economic recovery, regional cooperation, growing investment, pointing to renewed optimism for the continent's future. In East Africa, governments are expanding infrastructure projects, including transport corridors and energy networks aimed at boosting trade and job creation. These developments are helping to strengthen links between landlocked countries and regional ports, improving access to global markets. Meanwhile, West Africa is seeing progress in agricultural production with new initiatives focused on food security, modern farming techniques and local manufacturing. Officials say these efforts are reducing reliance on imports while supporting rural communities. At the continental level, the African Continental Free Trade Area, known as the AfCFTA, continues to gain momentum. More countries are implementing trade reforms designed to ease cross-border commerce, encouraging African businesses to trade within the continent and expand regionally. Africa is also emerging as a growing hub for innovation and technology. Startups in renewable energy and digital services are attracting international attention, while young entrepreneurs are driving change through technology and creative industries.
To our main topic of discussion for today's episode, which is the re-election of Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni, and indeed the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi congratulated the Ugandan President for his re-election. To shed more light on the issue, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Hoda Rezkana, our political analyst. Dr. Rezkana, thank you so much for joining us.
You are most welcome. It's a good chance that I have this chance to congratulate also his election for this second time, and I think it's a good step for Uganda, of course.
Indeed. Dr. Rezkana, what factors did help President Yoweri Museveni to secure the seventh term with over 71% of the vote?
I think he was very active in communicating with other people and in countries around him, because he's one of the best to communicate and to indulge himself in some problems which can solve their needs. I think this is very important in the process of electing such a person, because each country, we need somebody represent them and talk for their needs and their problems and try to solve it. So this is one of the factors which helps him. Actually, he is very, very smart at this point.
Indeed. Doctor, what actually does this election result mean for the future of Uganda from your point of view?
Well, as a matter of fact, it will be, proposed and elected for further steps, because as you can see that the world is changing, and everybody is looking for some areas of interest that he can manage to serve his people. And each country, I think they are very active at this point, because they need people who can manipulate and deal with the situations all over the world.
Yes.
A critical area in some areas in Africa needs somebody active and tolerable, and he can also manage to find solutions through this problem.
Yes. Dr. Rezkana, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was keen to congratulate Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni for his re-election. How do you see here the relations between Egypt and Uganda, and what are our expectations for the coming phase after the re-election of Yoweri Museveni as President for Uganda for a new term?
I think he's going to be more steps towards joining the projects and try to run all the traffic, the area of the trading and the solutions for problems in Africa should be solved. And this is a good chance. As you can see, that President Sisi is very, very smart at this point. He catches the point, and he indulges and he also activated. He's not just sending congratulations only, no. He processed it and send, people, missions who ask what you need, what you think, what we can do together to bring everything to the profit of the people in both countries. So this is why our president is very, very smart at this.
Of course. Dr. Rezkana, on a wider scale, how do you see the future of the foreign relations with the regional and international partners after the re-election of Yoweri Museveni as president for Uganda as well?
Well, as a matter of fact, it's a very good point to talk about, and it needs a little bit more time than this time with the little when you're broke. But I'm telling you the truth that it's an area very interesting, and it's a very full of chances that we can use also as a country. We can send a lot of trading and educational treatment. Also, these are areas who need support. Environmental and educational missions and all that stuff should be activated and should be involved in this country because they need it and we need it also to tie relations and to act in a way that we cannot leave it just open like that. Anybody can go through. No, we have to indulge the chance and to get into and try to do the best for both countries.
Yes, indeed. Dr. Rezkana, what are the main economic and social challenges that Yoweri Museveni might be facing in his new term in office?
As a matter of fact, it's all of the problems should be focusing on the economic side because everybody needs the economy strong.
Of course.
So that's why he wants to tie more relations in the economic and trading part and also to the education, of course, because he got a population who needs support and environmental awareness and educational awareness, all that stuff. So that's why it's a booming area. And it's also got many chances to go around and make use for both countries.
Yes. Finally, could this election result reshape the Ugandan political life, Dr. Rezkana?
Well, as a matter of fact, the president is smart, and he will, if he seeks to be a successful candidate for the second term, I think he got his own program arranged, and also he got new ideas to get into this, world, because you can see the world is changing, and you have to face what's going on the west side. So we have to activate Africa at the top.
Yes. Indeed, and we wish him the best of luck in his new term in office. Dr. Hoda Rezkana, our political analyst, thank you so much for joining us and for your precious input. And moving on to the last item in our program for today, which is the AFCON final. And the Dakar erupted into celebration late on Sunday after Senegal won the African Cup of Nations the second time in the last 4 years. That is, the team has won the title. The Teranga Lions beat host Morocco 1-0 in a chaotic final in Rabat, which at one point saw Senegal's player leave the field to protest a penalty decision by the referee. The game also saw Senegal seemingly score a goal only for it to be ruled out, drawing shoutouts and disbelief from viewers gathered at public viewing venues across the Senegalese capital Dakar. But after Senegal goalkeeper saved a penalty kick by Morocco, the Lions scored a goal in the extra time, bringing Senegal ahead and ultimately winning them the game and the trophy, the AFCON 2026. Well, with that, our dear viewers, we come to the end of this edition. Many thanks for watching.